Right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So, it's actually warmed up. We got out of the house today, we were delighted.
Warmed up is an understatement. Sorry,
yeah.
UK people, which I think is like,
-4.
said on my computer it was -4. It's 19 degrees here today.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm just going to take this off.
Well, no, you got to talk about that.
Oh, I've got to talk about this. That's why I've got it on.
I'm going to take this hat off because...
Sweltering.
Look at...
What has happened? Honestly, kudos to Spain, but just... Before you talk about the hat again.
That's a match made in heaven. Go on, kudos in Spain.
Well, we got here and we were like, okay, it's quite cold. It was like, what, 8 degrees, 6 degrees for a few days. And like within less than 2 weeks, we're at high double numbers. This is like a summer's day in the UK.
It is crazy.
I actually can't get my head around how it can just switch. And there's a little bit of a breeze. So if there wasn't a breeze, it would actually be sunbathing weather. So it's bikini time. Luckily, I bought loads of bikinis.
What about your new... you bought loads of every time.
Sorry, never mind bikinis. This is not a bikini channel.
Well, everyone will be thinking it should be. What about your new jacket? How are you finding it?
Yeah,
people voted.
Love it.
People voted.
People voted for this jacket, and I would just add that it was the most comfortable. Sean liked it the best. I wasn't sure about the colour because it's not my kind of colour. I'm a bit more like of a pinks and blues and stuff.
Yeah.
But really like it.
Good. So you like the jacket?
So you can see I'm actually wearing all of my very beautiful retro gear that nearly all that Sean has gifted me.
We wanted you to look good, didn't we? I got a new bike, you got some new gear.
Yeah, I had just sports bike gear from a long time ago. So here we are, I've upgraded and feeling really comfy. Sorry, I'm literally totally taking over this video. Yeah, he'll get a word in a minute.
Yeah,
this is Sean's feeling every day.
The fashion section.
Wrap it up. I'm saying something very positive. It only took us about 5 minutes to get here. We're very lucky to be on a hill surrounded by Mediterranean forest and ocean where we're staying. So well done, Sean, for booking.
Yeah.
But so far, even in those 5 minutes, it's the best riding I've ever done in my life.
There you go.
This bike, it just exceeds any...
It's perfect round here, isn't it?
It's just perfectly comfortable.
Yeah.
So I struggle with a small pillion, often with like what looks like a comfier seat where they like dish the seats. I end up falling into it and then I'm too far away from Sean that I can't reach. Whereas on a flat seat, which I would normally not, I would think, oh God, that looks so uncomfortable. This is very, very soft, you can see.
So Suzie is a fan of the traditional Brit bike style seats, which is a large single flat seat,
which I didn't expect.
Which kind of like beaver tails at the back a little bit.
Because it means I can sit right next to Sean or far away, but my arms aren't like, you know, I'm not rounding in my back to try and hold on to him, or I'm small, so where they put the handles are normally too far away for where that little like bum dimple. I've also got quite a sizable bum for my size.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm not like hemmed into a tiny seat. So that was just a really long way of saying I'm absolutely loving the combination of the BSA and these conditions.
Because it's actually your first ride on the BSA as a pillion, so you're made up.
I'm honestly heart wide open right now.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's something about it.
Right, now I'm going to take this off.
Yeah, now you can.
Actually hot.
Yeah. You could hang it not on the exhaust, obviously. Hang it on the rear rack.
Look at that. It's like it was made for that.
Look at it. It's like there's a little hat there. It just almost looks like we're doing a fashion shoot, something for BSA.
Like do some like more model style. Now I'm probably going to be going out of. What do you think?
You haven't got your green. The green doesn't really match the green on the bike, though.
No, it actually doesn't. I've worn the wrong top. So
we've screwed
I was matching my jacket.
Right, you know people only have an attention span of like 12
so everybody's like turned off now. So it's going to get interesting now.
Oh, we've actually been practicing our pronunciations.
Yeah, but let's not keep going on for that. We haven't been practicing anything. I speak some Spanish.
Okay, you're right.
So when he says we, he means him.
So I had a voice message from Nigel just explaining that it wasn't Girona. Like I was
No, sorry, you were saying Girona, which I've been telling him for about 3 months. It's not a G, it's not a hard G in Spanish.
It's
a
J. Girona or Girona if it's Spanish or Catalan. So we've learned that. We've also learned that H is silent in Spanish, so it's not hombre, it's hombre. So that's something else which I've been practicing.
Because if I tell him It doesn't listen.
Okay.
So I'm not his Spanish teacher. I'm not going to take credit for this.
Right.
This is the Spanish Sean.
So I wanted to do a little bit of a shout out really to my fellow moto vloggers. Can you hold this?
I can hold
Swap
that.
over.
Yeah.
Because I've actually had quite a few people mention me positively in the community, which is really nice. And
It's amazing.
it just shows how nice the smaller channels, how we all sort of talk to each other.
Well, not
And
even just the smaller
it's
ones,
a really
everybody.
friendly atmosphere, isn't it? So obviously I just wanted to mention a couple of my favourite, just the really genuine nice people on YouTube who are riding bikes. And obviously, of course, this list wouldn't be a list without Two-Wheeled Willie
Of course not.
with his amazing T120 Black. A Two-Wheeled Willie's just got a really genuine, like, friendly, lovely on-screen presence, isn't
Yeah.
he? You just feel like he's your pal just from watching him. He's just wild.
Yeah, to be able to convey that on video is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't watch as much YouTube as Sean, but I've watched your guys' videos. Like he catches me up with stuff, and I watch Wheel Willie and immediately feel like I already know him and like I could go and have a couple with him. So hopefully we will at some point.
We will,
and
yeah.
I love the T120 all in black. So
Suzie loves the T120.
I'm
yeah.
after that.
Do you know what Willie keeps saying? He keeps saying the talk's addictive. That's his new thing. That's
I
his
can
like his
imagine that.
catchphrase.
Yeah, I like a
Talk's
bit of
addictive.
talk. I'm saying this like I ride, but
Yeah.
I mean in the car.
He's also done that thing which all of us do. He's bought a new bike and then he's immediately accessorized the hell out of it. And you know Willie's funny thing? It's won't he sell his bike? Because he's
Yeah.
like someone who changes bikes often. But he's actually made a
I know
bet.
someone else like that.
I know. He's made a bet that he's going to keep this bike for at least a year. Otherwise, he's going to donate £100 to charity. Bet with the audience.
Wow. Yeah, I think a year's a nice time. I used to always change my car every year, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
A year would be time to move it on and get something a bit more exciting, which is,
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Well, the other person who's I've started watching and following a little bit is the Bingley Wheeler.
Yes.
So what is amazing about the Bingley Wheeler, right? He just got such a good way of like delivering his dialogue. He just speaks like so purposefully. You're like hanging on to every word that he says. And he's got a Moto Guzzi V7, which is with the transverse twin. So like,
I don't think I know that one.
well, where it's a V twin, but instead of being that way on the bike,
the other way.
it's that way. So you can see a cylinder head here and here. And
Oh, you have shown me that.
yeah, it's just a really, really cool bike. And I think that's his bike for the channel, but I'm following really as well to see what happens to this bike. He's started modifying it. He's done a review on it. And yeah, it's just you just start watching his videos, you just can't help but follow along really. You just want to get to the end. So big props to the Bingley Wheeler. He's also mentioned us positively as well, which he didn't have to do. So thank you very much. And also someone who regularly, thought there was a car coming then, but no cars going to be. Someone who regularly comments and also has his own YouTube channel is Phil Green. Old School Motorcycles Phil Green Limited. And not only does he knows we're around classic bikes, he's also got a silver, I think it's a Silver Sheen Legacy Edition Gold Star, which is really,
Ooh,
yeah.
I don't think I even know what that is.
It's the top of the line Gold Star. So I've obviously got Highland Green, then you've got
Yeah.
red, black, Dawn Silver, and then the tier up
Wow.
is the Legacy Edition, which has
You'll have to show me that.
yeah, it's got like little pieces here and there that are different to the standard Gold Stars. But he started doing really cool videos that are arty, going back in time, and like bringing the video looks like it was a Gold Star shot 50 years ago, which is really cool. He's also a really nice guy. He usually writes comments on our videos and you know has his really good input. So really like Phil as well. And also finally Exeter Rider. If you haven't watched Exeter Rider is kind of a bit of a bigger channel actually. He's got loads of reviews, all different type of bikes, but really genuine guy. And yeah, I just enjoy watching him basically.
Yeah. I like his energy. He's got a real essence of like enthusiasm, which I see in us, and I really resonate with that in him.
And he's kind of like quite real about it as well. Nothing's overhyped. If he says it how it is as well, which is a great attribute to have. So yeah, just want to say thanks guys for the support, also of the motor vlogging community, because I think that's a big deal as well. So we appreciate that, as well as everyone who comments and subscribes here.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it. I mean, not having like building my own YouTube channel slowly. I don't know the communities on YouTube that well. That's not my arena. Mine is more Instagram. So to see, but the community that you guys have, it's crazy. All mentioning each other, all like giving props to each other, telling people to go onto other people's videos, and
it's very
sharing, and all
like
the comments you get.
Supporting, isn't it? Yeah.
It brings me great joy to see you all commenting and sharing support and love and your ideas and stuff to Sean's videos. So.
And it's a kind of shared passion, isn't it? Riding bikes and things.
It's amazing.
But that's not the topic of today's video. That's just the monologue that we've done. Just to, how long does that take? It's like 15 minutes or something.
And this is us short.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start doing some long form video, and then people could watch it if they really want it.
Well, let's not stop talking about videos, because that's adding more time to the video. Right. Oh, I'm going to hand you this. Oh, actually, before we do that, we need to talk about the drone.
Okay, quickly then.
Right, Dad bought me a drone because Dad supports the channel, obviously. Remember, he bought me this hat, which I haven't worn today. I've got the cap on.
I meant to bring mine as well. I've got one too.
Susie's got one. Bought these caps. For my birthday, which is in the summer, he bought me this drone because he thought it'd be good to ride the bike and have the drone follow you. He thought it'd like next level the channel. I never thought about buying a drone. I don't know anything about them, but he sort of secretly researched and did all this like behind the scenes stuff to find one that like follows the bike and everything.
Brilliant.
So I hadn't used it up until now because we just didn't have time. We were trying to get ready to come here. So I got it out the other day.
And might I add that you have to be certain distance away from people, which is quite difficult in the UK.
You've got to register, and you've got to have read this book, a bit like passing your theory test for riding a bike.
So Sean did all that, and here is the perfect conditions because there's nobody here. We're alone in this whole region, pretty much.
So we got this drone up and running because we got here. I had some downtime. We'd finally made it, and Dad, obviously, I was flying it about. There's loads of trees here, isn't there? And they say don't fly drones next to trees. So obviously the kind of what expected to happen happened. I crashed the drone into a tree. And then we had this kind of like comedy chuckle vision, only fools and horses scenario where we were throwing ratchet straps into the tree to try and wiggle the branch, which Suzie was doing.
And I did it.
To make the drone fall out of a lofted position trapped in the tree. Then I had the motorcycle cover as like a safety blanket to catch it.
We could share that little video as a short, just for people to chuckle at.
Yeah,
I've got that.
Okay, so basically I've now become a very, very amateur drone flyer. But we'll see if we can integrate that into the channel going forward. Okay, so that actually wasn't the topic of the video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have like a Speedfire thing where Susie's going to give me a topic, a segment of the motorcycle sector to talk about. I'm going to give a quick intro to it and then pick my favourite and my recommended bike for that segment for 2024.
And I'm timing him, okay? So he's going to have a minute to talk about each segment. We tried it with just a minute in total and it doesn't work because Sean has so much knowledge and I think valuable info to share. Like he was telling me about it earlier. And I was like, you need to say that because a lot of people find that really interesting. Even I learnt stuff. So I don't mean even I, like as if I know it, but somebody who's not a motorcyclist myself. Okay, so I'm going to start. The first category is going to be road sport. And Sean's going to talk about what this category is.
Yeah.
A little bit about it. And then I'm going to stop him. And I've just seen the moon. Sorry, that's distracted me over there.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to give him a short time to tell you his favourite and why. Okay. Right. Ready, steady, go.
Okay, so sports bikes have been in decline since mid-2000s because they were too expensive, too powerful for UK roads really, too uncomfortable, and people just sort of like drifted into the other segments like adventure bikes and modern classics. Sports bikes have had a little bit of a renaissance recently with the parallel twins and more affordable with more basic suspension bikes being put forward by manufacturers like the Yamaha R7.
So these are what you would call road sports?
Yeah, its topic is road sport as opposed to I guess a track bike, so sports bikes for the road. You got the R7, then you had the Aprilia 660, which is also a parallel twin.
Oh, yeah.
About 100 horsepower on that bike.
Your mum likes that one.
Really well styled
I think
as well.
she sent us that.
That's a nice bike. Then Kawasaki came out with the ZX4R, which is a bit smaller capacity, but 4 cylinders, so it absolutely screams its nuts off. And then you had a couple of new bikes come onto the playing field, like Suzuki with the GSX-8R, which is a 270-degree crank, parallel twin, 766cc, loads of torque for the road, very smooth as well, because it's got 2 balancer shafts in the engine.
See what I mean about all the info?
And then finally you got Triumph coming onto the scene with the new Daytona, which is an iconic name. We owned a Daytona. There's a new Daytona called the 660, which is a little bit softer.
You own a Daytona?
Still own it, yeah. I haven't sold it yet. I'm trying to sell it.
So 660.
So my pick of those...
Hold on.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, I'm the timer.
Oh, go on then.
Do
you have any follow-up questions?
No. What's your pick of those, sir?
My pick of them would probably be the Suzuki. I just really like Suzukis because they're kind of affordable, good value for money. They look quite cool. And Suzuki as a company are on the up and up at the moment. They've got loads of new cool bikes. Not modern retros, which is my favourite, but as a brand, Suzuki offer really good value for money.
And you rode the 8S, didn't you? The Suzuki GS.
It's actually
what is it? GSX
8S, which is their naked.
Which he's talked about for me.
Too fast for me, to be honest. Too much torque. It's
but
like,
not
whoa!
For me.
Any gear, you rips your arms off.
Okay, yeah. Next category. So we have the favourite for that, and now we're on to touring.
Okay, so touring bikes also a bit of a decline because everything you used to do on a touring bike, you can now do on an adventure bike. And obviously people have been sold the marketing that adventure bikes make you an adventurous person.
I think I get those two bikes categories mixed up.
Well, they do overlap quite a bit because
I thought a GS
is an adventure bike.
See?
But most people who have a GS use it for touring.
How is it not a touring bike?
Because
it's got a big tank and all that.
Yeah, it's got a big tank, it's got long travel suspension, it's got spoked wheels, which is kind of the giveaway. It's got off-road modes.
Right, yeah.
And most people would use it for touring, which is really the point, that most of the touring activity is done by adventure bikes, so touring bikes have gone down.
Yeah.
But there's a few outliers to the rule, like the Kawasaki ZX1000, which is really successful.
ZX1000SX.
That's it.
We like that.
Yeah.
A bit
4-cylinder.
Bit speedy. Well, that's the style of the bike, isn't it?
So
but you go for it, and it gets you in the chest, even if you're the pillion.
Suzuki then came in with the GSX S1000 GT, which is kind of a competitor to the Kawasaki's offering. Again, both good bikes. I would probably have something a bit different. I'll probably go for something like the BMW R1250 RS. So it's got a parallel twin, opposing twin, sorry. Lots of torque, which is a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, I don't do touring bikes, but if I was going to do one, I'd probably have like a big, kind of comfortable, big engined, thumper.
Right, adventure. That would lead on to adventure bikes.
Okay, so adventure bikes booming. They're the top selling segment by far. BMW GS, the 1200, the 1250, and now the 1300, been outselling every other motorcycle model in the UK every month for years. Absolutely crazy. There's something about that segment that everyone who probably grew up on sports bikes is now into adventure bikes.
Yeah.
And at the top level, you've got the GS 1300, the Tiger 1200, which comes in a few variants, Ducati with the Multistrada, and the Multistrada is actually Ducati's. Oh, I hope this wind jammer is working. Ducati with the Multistrada is actually their most best-selling model, which is crazy for a company that you associate with sporty riding.
Yeah.
It's the Multistrada.
I did not know that. Wow.
KTM with the 90, whatever the new one is, a super adventure.
I like that Triumph Tiger. We talked about that.
Triumph Tiger was the 1200.
Cool. They're all just so tall.
They're all tall and big. If I had to pick from any of the top level, I'd probably go for the Triumph, which sells about one bike for every 5 GSs, but they do a few variants. They do a road-focused variant called the GT Pro. Probably pick that one. But there's also the middle-level adventurers like the Suzuki 800 RE and DE, Honda Transalp, the Tenere 700. There's loads of them now.
What about the new one we saw?
Himalayan.
The Himalayan.
That's probably my pick of the bunch. I'd probably go, so well done for
The new
mentioning.
Himi. Yeah, because I just remember the pretty colours.
I'd probably go for something like the Himalayan as a lightweight option. Probably go for a Himalayan 411.
Yeah.
Pick it up really cheap.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, sir.
And Triumph's 400X Scrambler. I think that's really cool.
That's
Customise
the
it
other
with
one I was
panniers. We'd probably do a little bit of adventuring on that. So smaller adventure bikes for me. If at a push, maybe a mid-level one, but never one of the 20 grand bikes.
Beep, beep, beep.
Okay.
Right, naked.
Come in a bit.
Oh, I'm disappearing out of the shot, am I?
Right, you're all right there. So naked bikes, I think, are becoming up as a popular segment now. I think people who perhaps would have gone for a modern retro or an adventure bike, there's just a lot of people who want a bike to do all things because the cost of living's gone up. So people are kind of like, right, what bike can I have? So I can have one bike and I can just do everything on one bike. And I think nakeds are quite comfortable, but they've got option to go a little bit of a tour on them because you can put luggage on them. You're upright, they're fast. There's a huge array of them.
Okay, so let's tell us which ones.
Tell
us about the array of a few examples.
Okay,
we've
got the Suzuki we mentioned already, the Honda Hornet. You've got Kawasaki's Z650 and Z900 if you wanted to go like a little bit higher up. I'm not talking about super nakeds because I'd never buy one of those, or hyper nakeds. I'd probably go for something like, a Kawasaki Parallel Twin. It's a bit beginner friendly. I don't really, the Suzuki's great, but it's so fast. It's just, you're on edge all the time. With the Kawasaki, you're a little bit down in power and torque, a little bit smaller capacity.
And what's that called?
Z650 I'd probably go
Oh,
for.
yeah.
Like a little bit of a
Yeah.
friendly, torquey, just a nice daily bike really.
Okay, thank you. And the last and definitely not least, should I say?
Yeah.
Modern classic category.
Well,
Go.
I can't do all this in the time. I'm definitely going to go over it.
This is a whole other video.
Okay, so it's gone strength to strength from 2015 onwards probably. It's hugely successful.
Yeah.
I think in today's modern society, when everybody wants to, everybody is by nature connected to phones and 5G and streaming services, and you're bombarded with all of this advertising, and you're basically a commercial product. I mean, you guys are watching through a screen now, which says what the mark of the society. This type of bike makes you feel like you're back in time when things were simpler, freer. It's an important topic. I think a little bit more like flowing. You could go out for a ride without it being hugely busy. It just makes you feel like you're free, really. You're out on the open roads. And retro is such a big open segment. I think it'll keep going from strength to strength. I think there's a bit of a plateau. Like if you look at Interceptor sales, they peak every spring, but gradually you're seeing the lowest, the highs are getting a little bit lower each year with that quarterly peak in sales.
But then there's bikes to compete. That's probably why, isn't there? Because the Interceptor and a few of those bikes, there weren't so many. Whereas now, like, you've got that. Don't tell me what it is. You've got the Super Meteor, which isn't the same, right? But you've also got the new. Don't tell me. We watched about it last night.
We watched about it last night.
The Royal Enfield, and it's called something like Shotgun.
Yeah, I was going to do a
Shotgun 650.
Shotgun 650.
So wouldn't that take a place instead of like the BSA as well? Doesn't that take the Interceptor place?
So the Interceptor, you're right, had the market to itself for the
Yeah.
affordable retro. Then BSA came along and undoubtedly stole some sales. We could debate how many. Super Meteor came on and Interceptor owners had another option, and now obviously, as Suzie mentioned, the Shotgun 650's come along. Royal Enfield are very good at sort of propagating sales through multiple bikes through the same owner, because owners kind of know what to expect. They know the quality's there.
Yeah.
So look at the 350 range. There'll be people who bought a Meteor and then they would have gone to a classic 350, and then perhaps they'd go to a Hunter, which is not classically styled, but it's still a nice little run around. And then now they're all buying bullets.
You would have been one of those people.
If Suzie had let me, I would have just bought the whole 350 range, but I'm not allowed.
Sorry, Royal Enfield.
They're too slow. Triumph as well, another brand in the space. Obviously the T120, like we mentioned with Wheel Willie, perennially popular bike. It just offers so much. The quality's there, you can tour on it, it's comfy. They do a huge range of Bonnevilles, one for every taste really. And then finally BSA. Obviously BSA are a little bit of a niche player in the market at the moment. They've got one model, they've got a dedicated and loyal fan base, I think, of people who are passionate about the bikes.
Yep.
I really like it,
including
but
us.
let's see. BSA got a lot to prove, really. You know, other manufacturers been supporting this market for years. They're new on the block. Let's see how they get on. Maybe they'll be a niche bike. Maybe they'll rise in popularity. But let's see. So my pick of the modern retro market.
Because we're at 11 minutes now, so we're averaging at just over 2 minutes per category. So you're okay.
I'm alright.
We're always going to go over. What's your pick?
Well, let me just first mention Moto Guzzi.
Okay.
Really, really good. I would have the V7, but also Moto Guzzi gives you the option to have a modern retro-styled adventure bike with the V85 TT or something like that. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh.
It's basically a transverse twin adventure bike that looks like it's 30 years old. So if you want an adventure bike and you want it to look retro, it's also Freddie Dobbs' pick, and he's quite aesthetics, isn't he? He's focused on aesthetics of the bikes. So yeah, I'd probably go for my pick. I got the BSA here, but we won't choose this one because I've already got it. I'd probably go for after the BSA for a Meteor 350 Aurora edition. So I tell you why, because what they've done,
he's got a point. It is beautiful.
They've got pastel paint schemes,
I know,
green, blue, and grey, the colours of the sky, that'll resonate with you.
Well, I sat on it.
You sat on it.
Shown videos of it.
It's got the classic 350 engine cases, so they're all polished and shiny. There's chrome. It's got wheels which are spoked, which is different to the cast alloys of the Meteor. LED lights. Upgraded switch gear.
Wow.
It's just literally the pinnacle of the Meteor 350. So that's probably my shout. I wouldn't be a Triumph. Probably,
is it forward pegs?
No.
Good.
Mid controls.
Nice.
Probably wouldn't be a Triumph. I would go for that new, the most evolved version of the Meteor 350. The bike that started off the 350 run for Royal Enfield. I'd go for that.
Well done. Well, that was 12.5 minutes. Well done.
We've done it.
Thanks for your rundown.
Well, I hope,
sort of done it.
I hope everybody enjoyed the kind of fly through today, and yeah.
And tell us your favourites.
Yeah, write in the
Sean
comments.
loves a bit of reading through what everybody else thinks and a bit of chat about that. I mean, it's not just about the video here. It really is about the community around the videos.
Yeah, and we're actually going to go out and ride this bike. Susie's first trip on it, so it's going to be fab. So.
And he's taking me to a beach, so I can't really complain about that.
It's absolutely boiling
I
here.
wish I'd bought my bikini, which was the beginning topic.
Yeah.
I need a BSA bikini. I wonder if they should start doing that.
I don't think it would be a good seller, to be honest.
Maybe I'll make one.
Most of the people who own BSAs wouldn't look good in bikinis. Right, they just wouldn't.
Okay, well, on that note,
Right,
I think it's time to wrap it up.
End the video there. Right, thanks guys.
Thanks, guys.